you doing? Hi. Are you looking outside? Are you looking outside? Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the struggles, really the top struggles that I've had with transitioning my kids to a vegan diet. And I'm hoping that maybe some of these things will help you guys to see that you aren't alone, and that you maybe there's ways around it, or kind of give you some ideas to help with remedying them a little bit. But one of the biggest struggles that we've had really is just getting family to support what we do and how we feed our children. And you would think that kids have to eat, like people wouldn't be so offended, but people really do get offended at what you feed your kids, and our family is definitely no exception. And my mom is super supportive, and for the most part our family's supportive. But we do have one family member that my son just is really connected with, and he doesn't, like, he supports it by not saying much, but when we aren't around or when he gets an opportunity, he will give his 2 cents about how he can sneak a bite of meat, or how he loves his meat and he'd never be able to not eat it, or different things like that really make my son feel like, oh, if that person eats it, I want to eat it. Not even see it for face value that it's not something to eat or that it's a dead animal, but just really see that, like, it makes him to feel like he can't connect with this person. And it's really hard to see that as a parent, and hard for especially Levi, because Levi is the older one, and he does understand a lot more than Oliver understands. And so we've asked for family just to support us and to not offer any food, and for the most part they're all really good to not offer it, but it definitely has been a huge struggle. I don't really know how to remedy it other than just make sure that your kids have a lot of options so that they still feel satisfied, even if it's not specifically what the other person's eating, but something that's similar that they can eat when they're out eating with them. Now, if you don't ever hang around with people that eat a different diet, that eat animals, or you aren't going to any events with people that eat animals, then it's really not a big deal. You can surround yourself with people that are like-minded and that eat the same, and your kids will know no different. But for us, we are transitioning so late. We already have families. We already have families. We've been in this family for so long, and our parents and everyone else was eating a standard American diet, and we're basically the first ones to change our diet. So we're the oddballs, and we are, in a way, the outcasts. So we have to find ways to be able to still socialize and still connect with people that doesn't cause us to feel like we need to allow Levi to eat meat or dairy or anything like that, which we generally don't. We don't give in, but it definitely does cause a lot of stress. And another issue that we have is with our son, with Levi specifically. He has some habits that we allowed to develop from when he was really young. I think he was about 3 when he started getting really obsessed with fishing. He loves to fish. He loves to catch fish. The only way that we've been able to somewhat remedy this is we've allowed him to fish, but we don't allow him to keep the fish, and we try to help the fish have the best chance of survival and release them as quickly as possible. Hi. Are you talking? Are you talking? But it really pains me that he does fish, and at this point, I just haven't gotten to the point where I am willing to have the fight, I guess is really what it is fight with Levi. I'm not really willing to go through those struggles yet. I don't feel like I'm at a place that I emotionally can handle that. And I think Levi isn't at a place that he emotionally can handle that because we've changed so much in such a short period of time. So we are right now allowing him to fish if he's at a place that he can fish. We try to keep it to the shortest amount of time that he fishes, but sometimes we can't help that. And we try to really provide encouragement for catching and releasing, and not handling the fish a lot, and trying to help them to be, as safe as possible with returning them back to the lake. Where are you going? But definitely those old habits are really hard because Levi doesn't understand why we allowed, a fishing game on his tablet, or we allowed him to go fishing at one point and now we're saying no. Even though we tell him, it hurts the fish, and we don't want to harm any animals, we just haven't really found a way that we can communicate that where he truly understands and connects with it, because everyone else around him fishes, and that's what he always loved to do. I swear that's probably one of his favorite things to do. So, right now we are allowing that, but habits can definitely be really hard with transitioning your kids. Even us, habits are hard, but we're more in control of ourselves, and we can do a lot of self-talk and help us to, be able to understand, this is why we don't do this, and we can reason, but a 7-year-old can't reason. They don't have that part of their brain developed yet, so they are not able to reason, and that is, that's really how we've handled it right now. Are you tired? Oh, you tired? Oh, sweet little girl. Let me get her down and I will be right back. Okay, Thea's asleep now, so let's get back to this video. So another thing that's been really difficult for us is just that recently we finally made the decision to go gluten-free. We are doing it as a family. I know a lot of families that don't do that, kids that have allergies, and maybe the mom or dad will make a separate meal for one child that has those allergies, and different meal, different items for the rest of the family. But in our family, we really wanted to support everyone, and with me having Hashimoto's, gluten is something that most people say that I should avoid, as well as Thea. She's just been having such severe eczema, and it's been getting progressively worse since she was 6 months old. So we've been trying to figure out what's causing it, and definitely gluten seems to be helping in that once we took it out, as long as it's out as much as humanly possible, she does not have eczema. But when we allow it in, she does get eczema. Now, she does seem to get eczema when she's in contact, physical contact with someone that maybe uses more perfumes, soaps, makeup. I do notice that she starts getting some eczema when she's being held by other people. But if it's just me and my husband and my kids, and we're at home for the most part, I don't notice it. It goes away and her skin looks really good. Now we are in Las Vegas, and we have never been here as being vegans, and so we did want to try out a lot of different restaurants, and we did make the decision that we were going to allow us all to eat some gluten. We're trying really hard for the most part to have a lot of foods that are not or that don't have gluten, but every place that we've gone so far has had something with gluten. And so far they seem to be doing okay. Thea does have some eczema that's starting to come up. Hopefully it doesn't get really bad. She gets to the point where almost her entire body is like, basically she looks like a big red blister. It's just horrific. So on that note, one of the hardest things has been that we've transitioned not only to being vegan, but also now we're trying to transition to being gluten-free. And that's been really hard on the kids because I finally found things that were vegan, that were junk food. I mean, all in all, they're junk food. They weren't whole foods, like Earth Balance Cheez-Its. And they were so happy to be able to have those because I used to allow regular Cheez-Its for special treats. Then I allowed the vegan Earth Balance Cheez-Its for a special treat after we started transitioning to a vegan diet. And so they felt like, oh, I've got it. It's the same, there's no difference. It's the same thing. Basically, that's what they felt like. And now I haven't found any recipes. So if you guys have a recipe for gluten-free and vegan Cheez-Its, that would be really awesome. So put the link down below in the comments. But I really haven't found any. I haven't found any like processed store-bought ones, and I haven't tried any recipes. But that's just one thing. There's been multiple things that I have to say no to, just all in all, because I don't have a vegan and gluten-free alternative, and that's been really hard on the kids because they were getting comfortable with, oh no, it's not vegan, I can't have it. Like they would tell people that, like, oh, is there animal in it? Yes, there is. Nope, can't have it. And they were doing really well with that. But now when we have to say, is there animal and is there gluten? And a lot of people, I'm so surprised, a lot of people don't know what gluten is. They don't have a clue like what it's in. And so most of the time people are like, oh, I don't know, I don't think so. Like, is that from animal? And it just makes it harder. It makes it harder on the kids, and it makes it harder on us as parents. And so we are definitely struggling to help the kids in having enough and feeling satisfied just beyond having an abundance of fruits and veggies. And ultimately that's our goal, is to eat purely fruits and vegetables closest to their natural state, beans and grains like rice and quinoa. And we aren't quite there yet. We still do eat quite a bit of junk food, especially when I start really examining what we eat to try to see if maybe something else is causing the eczema for Thea. And we do still eat a lot of junk food, and but we're working towards a cleaner diet, and I think that's the most important thing. It doesn't happen overnight. Even if you change completely from standard American diet to or meat eating diet to a vegan diet, most people, not all, most people don't change overnight on every little thing. It's not going from this horrid diet to a completely pure and clean diet and never having any sort of junk food or processed food. There are some people I know, but as a family, that's really hard to do. So that is not our goal at this point. Our goal is just to be on this journey and enjoying this journey as we make our process to what our main goals are with our diet and with our lifestyle. So that's why I want to document this for you guys, so that you can see someone that's in the process. I haven't already attained. I never will already attain. I don't expect that. I hope to live to be 80, 90 years old and still feeling like I need to make improvements, and I can make improvements, and enjoying evolving and learning more and just cleaning up my diet more and more. And so that is where we're at. We actually need to get going, and I will see you guys in just a second. Things that we've experienced is more along the lines of just me being unprepared. And I've talked about this before, and you know, we are currently at a rehearsal dinner for my brother's wedding, and since it's out of town, it just was really hard to prepare well, and it's really sad. It's, you know, my son Levi, who's 7, he sees everyone else eating things that, you know, not that long ago he was eating, and then the only thing that they have here for him to eat is a salad with Italian dressing and a baked potato that's plain, and he's just not satisfied. And as a mom, it's really hard to see him not satisfied. I'm not satisfied, and you know, we're gonna get something after this and have it be a special treat, but it definitely pays to prepare and plan in advance, and sometimes you just can't, and so we will survive and we will get through this, but definitely has been one of the biggest challenges for us with transitioning to a plant-based diet. Yeah. Say hi. Can you wave? Can you wave at the camera? Say hi, Mia. Hi, Mia. Hi. She's not feeling too good. Aw, she's got a little cold. Okay, let's go back in. See what we can find to eat. Okay guys, we just got back from the rehearsal dinner, and I wanted to talk to you about one more thing, and that's really how important it is to build relationships with people that eat like you, so that you don't feel outcasted and you don't feel like you're the one sitting over here eating rabbit food. Tonight, I seriously felt like that. I felt like it was not satisfying, and I will say it's my fault because I didn't plan in advance, but you know, the rehearsal dinner was at a steakhouse, and that steakhouse, the only thing that was vegan was sourdough bread that supposedly was vegan, and so we ate that dry, and we ate a dry baked potato, and we had a salad that was like iceberg lettuce with a couple slices of onions and a few cherry tomatoes and a little bit of carrots, and we had some Italian dressing that was a vegan Italian dressing. And my kids don't like Italian dressing, so we already were out there. The kids, Oliver wanna eat it. Levi ate a couple leaves of iceberg lettuce, and then he had a little bit of sourdough bread, and I think he ate just about a whole baked potato, and you know, he ate, and that was great, and we went there with the intention that we would eat something after, but everyone wanted to go swimming after, so we actually just came straight to the hotel, and they're gonna take them swimming. Ryan's gonna take the kids swimming, and you know, it makes it so difficult to stay encouraged if you don't have like-minded people. And my mom is like-minded, but my mom is also very much willing to sacrifice herself for everyone else, and pretty much everyone else eats a lot of meat, especially my family. They eat a ton of red meat. That's how I grew up, was just eating a ton of red meat. We'd eat chicken, but we'd eat a lot of pork, and we'd eat a lot of beef, and it just you know, everyone else doesn't want to change, which is totally fine, but they aren't willing to go places that would be necessarily easier for us to eat at, so that makes it difficult. But we definitely were not fully satisfied there, and we will survive, and that's okay. But I want to just encourage you guys that you really, really need to find some friends that eat a vegan diet, even if it's not exactly the same type of vegan diet. There's all different ways to eat a vegan diet, and there's no one right way and one wrong way. We're all just at different stages in our lifestyles and in our diets, and so really just finding someone that is more compassionate and is eating a vegan diet is going to help you and your family transition so much easier. And you still will come to instances like this. You know, there's just no way around it. We went to a steakhouse. It was really sad, but we went to support our family and to support my brother that I love and my soon-to-be sister-in-law that we love, and so we're happy to do that. But definitely it's really important to have yourself prepared, like I said earlier, and to have friendships so that you don't feel this way every time you go out to eat with people that you're socializing with. It's really hard. We don't have a lot of friends outside of our family. We don't spend a lot of time socializing. Our kids just keep us really busy, and it's never been a priority. Even before we had kids, it's never been a priority. And so this year we really are striving to build more relationships and to connect with more people, and we hope to be able to build relationships with people that are vegan, are like-minded, so that we can have times that we go out and we all feel just so satisfied, and satisfied emotionally through socialization, satisfied in our stomachs through eating, and it's just something that we all we have to find what works for us, and that's definitely something that we've struggled with transitioning our kids, is just not really feeling like we are satisfied all the time unless I prepare. That is definitely one way that I am super satisfied, and so are my kids, is when we prepare and we bring all of our food with us, or most of our food with us, and we eat what we want in a vegan form, and everyone else gets to eat what they want. But when you're staying in a hotel that doesn't have a microwave, doesn't have a freezer, we're just really limited. The refrigerator in here, it's definitely not cold enough to keep things from spoiling, and so we're just really limited on what we can have. And we came here just with the intentions that we would eat out a lot and we would enjoy that and not stress about everything that we eat, as long as it is vegan. So I hope this video encourages you guys. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And please share it with anyone that you think might help, that it might help on their journey through lifestyle changes and diet changes. Have a great day, guys.